Hello everybody, welcome to this next video on linear algebra. Till now you must have seen that what we have done, we have studied about diagonal form of a diagonal representation of a linear operator or of a matrix, triangular form, Jordan canonical form, rational canonical form. Okay, so in my opinion it is always a good idea that you have a summary of what you have done previously. Okay, so whenever you make a summary, that not only helps you to remember the things, but it will also set to your mind, right? It is like you will remember those things forever if you make a summary. So it is always a good practice that when you work on something, after some days you make a summary that will give you a picture of what you have done. Otherwise, what we do, for example, if you are studying the diagonal form, you have studied the diagonal form, right? And then you have studied this triangular form. Maybe you had a little bit bridge that why you go from diagonal to triangular form, but still when you finally write everything on a paper that this is what we have done, just the summary, not the details, then that gives you a better understanding of your subject. So that the same thing I'm doing here. This is a summary video on diagonal form, triangular form, Jordan canonical form, and rational canonical form. So first of all, diagonal form. What is this form? We know that diagonal form is before these things, all these forms. What do you mean by these forms? When you say that a matrix is diagonalizable, a matrix is triangularizable, a matrix can be put into Jordan canonical form, a matrix can be put into rational canonical form, it means that you are saying that your matrix A is similar to a diagonal matrix. When this is the case, then you say that your matrix is diagonalizable. If it is a singular, it is similar to a triangular matrix, and it is generally an upper triangular matrix, then you say that your matrix is triangularizable. If it is similar to a matrix in Jordan canonical form. Now what is a Jordan canonical form? A form where you have J1, J2, Jn, where J1, J2, Jn, they are the Jordan blocks. What are the Jordan blocks? Jordan blocks are something like lambda, 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 1, 1, 1 on the upper diagonal and everywhere else 0. Then you say that your matrix has a Jordan canonical form. If your matrix is similar to a matrix in rational canonical form, rational canonical form is you have here C1, C2, Cn, where C1, C2, Cn, they are the companion matrices, right? So how to make companion matrices of polynomials? So for example, if you have these are for monic polynomials, you have x raised to power n plus an minus 1, x raised to power n minus 1 plus so on, a1 x plus a naught. Then you make companion matrix like this. You will put minus a naught here, minus a1 here, and so on, minus an minus 1 here, and then you will put zeros here, and here you will put an identity matrix, right? So this is the summary of all the forms. Now the question is, what is the meaning of similar to? Similar to means there exists, we say that A and B are similar if there exists a matrix P such that P inverse AP is equal to B. An invertible matrix P should exist, right? So whenever you are saying diagonalizable, it means that there exists an invertible matrix P such that P inverse AP is equal to a diagonal matrix. When you are saying it is a triangularizable matrix, it means that there exists a matrix P such that P inverse AP is equal to a triangular matrix, and so on, right? So now when you talk about a transformation, when you say that a transformation is diagonalizable, it means that there is a basis of V with respect to which T has a diagonal representation. It is same as saying that matrix representation of T, any matrix representation of T is diagonalizable. Okay, so generally idea is you can just take the standard basis of V and then you see what is a matrix representation of T with respect to that standard basis. Say B is the standard basis, then you work on this matrix, right? This is a matrix, you can work on this matrix, you can check whether this is a diagonalizable matrix or a triangularizable matrix, and correspondingly your transformation will also be diagonalizable or triangularizable or will be in Jordan canonical form or will be in rational canonical form. Okay, so let us see what is a diagonalizable form. We say that we had this theorem that a matrix A is diagonalizable if and only if algebraic multiplicity of each eigenvalue is equal to geometric multiplicity of that eigenvalue. This is one of the tests for the diagonalizability. There are more tests, like we say that linear transformation T from V to V is diagonalizable if and only if there exists a basis of V consisting only of the eigenvectors of T. So all the theorems we have done, but this is the most useful test for solving the problems. Okay, so that is why I have cited it here. They are equivalent. Any other test you will see, they are equivalent to this test. Here we are saying a matrix A is diagonalizable if and only if you compute all the eigenvalues of that matrix, and for all the eigenvalues geometric multiplicity and algebraic multiplicity should be same. Okay, for example, you see here, diagonalize this matrix if possible. You are given a matrix and you are asked to diagonalize it. So what your first step should be, find out the eigenvalues, and for that we need to write the characteristic equation. We know the characteristic equation is determinant of A minus lambda I equal to 0. So I'm just doing it here, and that gives me lambda is equal to 1 and 2. So I get two eigenvalues 1 and 2. Now for the first eigenvalue, that is 1, the algebraic multiplicity is 1, and for the second eigenvalue, that is 2, that is occurring twice as a root, right? So the algebraic multiplicity is 2. Can you see? Here you have a factor of 2 minus lambda square. It means that 2 is a root twice. Fine. Now for lambda is equal to 1, because algebraic multiplicity is 1, so we know that geometric multiplicity will also be 1. Okay, so you have this result that when you have algebraic multiplicity is equal to 1, so geometric multiplicity is also 1, because you have anyway one linearly independent vector and you cannot have more than algebraic multiplicity. So you have am greater than equal to gm. So if am is 1, you don't need to compute the geometric multiplicity. Anyway, they are equal. Okay, now you have am is equal to 2. Here algebraic multiplicity, am stands for algebraic multiplicity 2. Now let us compute its geometric multiplicity. So what is geometric multiplicity? Geometric multiplicity is the dimension of eigenspace corresponding to that eigenvalue. So lambda is equal to 2. You will solve determinant of, you have this system of equation a minus lambda I, okay, x y z is equal to 0 0 0. So I just put lambda is equal to 2 here. So this is the system I got, and from here you solve it, you will get z is equal to minus x and y can have any value. So you have x y z, your vector x y z will look like x y minus x. So that is x into 1 0 1 minus 1 plus y into 0 1 0. So it means that geometric multiplicity of lambda is equal to 2 is 2, because you can see this is a space generated by two vectors. These two vectors are linearly independent, so the geometric multiplicity is 2. It means that for both the eigenvalues you have am is equal to gm, therefore it is a diagonalizable matrix, and you don't need to compute the matrix P if it is not asked. Whenever you write the diagonal form, you will have eigenvalues on the diagonal and everywhere else 0, so you can straight away write the diagonal form. But the only question is, the moment you get the eigenvalues here, you cannot say that its diagonal form is this, because we don't know whether it is diagonalizable or not. So you have to check first. Okay, and you can write 1 2 2 in any order. I can write this as a diagonal form, or I can write this as a diagonal form, or I can write this as a diagonal form. So that does not impact anything. So you can take any order. Okay, accordingly your basis will change, that's it. Only the order of terms will change, or vectors will change. So you get it? The moment you get the eigenvalues, you can write the diagonal form if you are sure that it is diagonalizable. So only for making us sure that it is a diagonalizable matrix, we are doing all this task. Otherwise, the moment we get the eigenvalues and it is known to us that it is a diagonalizable matrix, then you can straight away write its diagonal form. You don't have to do it. Do anything, just put the eigenvalues on the diagonal. Okay, now let us come to the triangular form. We say that a matrix A is triangularizable if and only if its characteristic polynomial is factored into linear factors. Okay, now here you see understand this thing. We are saying that the characteristic polynomial should be factored into linear factors. It means that if you are in C is a set of complex numbers. If your field is C, it means that your vector space is over the field C, or your matrix having entries from C. And in C we know that every polynomial is factored into linear factors because C is an algebraically closed field. So it means that every matrix over the field C is a triangularizable matrix. Okay, every matrix is not a diagonalizable matrix, right? So here note this thing: every matrix is not a diagonalizable matrix, even if you are working on an algebraically closed field. Algebraically closed field means, so you just understand this is C. So algebraically closed means field means every polynomial of degree n has n roots in that field. Okay, so here triangular form is when you are working on an algebraically closed field. It means that if you are working on C, every matrix is triangularizable. Okay, because that is a theorem that a matrix A is triangularizable if and only if its characteristic polynomial is factored into linear factors, right? So in the last video I have told you how to write the triangular form. So let us move on to the next. I will tell you how to write the triangular form. Next is Jordan canonical form. What is the Jordan canonical form? We have already seen. The theorem is if you have a matrix whose characteristic and minimal polynomial are factored into linear factors. Now you see, the moment your characteristic polynomial is factored into linear factors, minimal polynomial is also factored into linear factors, because we have already seen this theorem that characteristic and minimal polynomial, they have same irreducible factors. Okay, so then you can write, suppose your characteristic polynomial is like this, minimal polynomial is like this, then you can write the Jordan canonical form. So how you can write the Jordan canonical form? Jordan canonical form is, again I told you that corresponding to lambda 1, you will have at least one Jordan block of size m1, and all other blocks will be of size less than or equal to m1. Then corresponding to lambda 2, there will be at least one Jordan block of size m2, and all other blocks will be of size less than or equal to m2. And corresponding to lambda, there will be at least one Jordan block of size mr, and all other blocks will be of size less than is equal to mr. And also from here you got the information that lambda 1 will occur n1 times on the diagonal, lambda 2 will occur n2 times on the diagonal, lambda r will occur nr times on the diagonal, because that is the algebraic multiplicity, right? Now here is an important note that if you want to write the triangular form of a matrix, it is possible only when the characteristic polynomial is factored into linear factors. And whenever the characteristic polynomial is factored into linear factors, then you can also write the Jordan canonical form, which is also triangular form. So whenever there is a question that you write the triangular form, because writing the triangular form, I told you in the last video, if you don't want to use the Jordan canonical form, then writing the getting the triangular form of a matrix is a little bit tedious task. So a good option is, because whenever a matrix can be put into triangular form, that is possible only when its characteristic polynomial is factored into linear factors. And whenever the characteristic polynomial is factored into linear factors, it means that you can also write the Jordan canonical form. So it is always a good idea that you just write the Jordan canonical form, and that is also triangular form. Okay, you understand this thing, that every Jordan canonical form is a triangular form, but every triangular form is not a Jordan canonical form. For example, here I have a question that write the triangular form. So I just found its characteristic polynomial is here, minimal polynomial is here, right? And you can check that this is not a diagonalizable matrix actually. So I can just write the Jordan canonical form. Now I know that I should have at least one block of size 3, and I can have only one block, because ultimately I want it to be a 3 cross 3 matrix. So how I would write the Jordan canonical form? I'll put these 2's on the diagonal and 1 on the super diagonal and zeros everywhere. Okay, so I will recommend that if you are watching this summary video, then you should understand, you should have watched the earlier videos, detailed videos of Jordan canonical form and all these things. Okay, so this was about Jordan canonical form and triangular form. Now the last one is rational canonical form. So this form is when you cannot write the, when you This form is basically when you cannot factorize the minimal polynomial or characteristic polynomial into linear factors. Okay, then you cannot write the Jordan canonical form or triangular form, but you can write the rational canonical form. Okay, it means that every matrix, even on the field of real numbers or in any field, every matrix can be put into rational canonical form. So we are saying here, if mt is equal to f1 t raised to power m1, f2 t raised to power m2, fs t raised to power ms, where fi t are distinct monic irreducible polynomials. Okay, so they are monic and they cannot be further factored. We are not saying they are linear. Okay, then rational canonical form is C11, C12, C1R1, C21, C22, C2R2, CS1, CS2, CSR2, RS. So corresponding to F1, we have these matrices. Corresponding to F2, we have these matrices. Corresponding to Fs, we have these matrices. Here also, we will have dots. So what is C11? C1 is the companion matrix of this F1 t raised to power n11. C12 is the companion matrix of F1 t raised to power n12. C1R1 is a companion matrix of F1 t raised to power n1R1. Means different powers of F1 t. Now how to choose this n1, n12, n1R1? So we have this condition, m1 is equal to n11, that is greater than equal to n12, greater than equal to n1R1, and so on. Similarly for C2. For example, here your question is find the rational canonical form of this if you are working on the field of R. So here we are your characteristic polynomial will be lambda square minus 5 lambda plus 10. So which cannot be factored into linear factors. So here we have only one polynomial. So its rational canonical form will be the companion matrix of this polynomial. How to write the companion matrix? Minus 10, 5, then 0, 1. Right? So you see here I have just given you a glimpse of how you can write the diagonal form, triangular form, Jordan canonical form and rational canonical form. So these are very important forms. And why do we write these forms? You can have a simple explanation that we want always things into its simpler form. So this is what we are doing. If you have a matrix which is in diagonal form, it is very easy to study. Just looking at the diagonal, you will get the information about the eigenvalues, and there are so many other factors which you will get from these forms which are simpler as compared to full original matrix. Thank you for watching this video. Please share this video and subscribe to this channel.